the original Vedic knowledge came from Krishna, and the very purpose of Vedas is to know Krishna. Vedaishcha sarvair ahameva vedyaha. Vedanta krit veda eva chaham. So Krishna says that I am the actual object to be known, by the Vedas. So, Tene Brahma Rudayadi Kavayo. So actual original knowledge was given by Krishna to Brahma in his heart. So the actual knowledge came, and that is called Shruti. So in the beginning the Veda is one. And it was called Shruti because when, in those times, in the beginning of creation, when the knowledge was imparted to Lord Brahma, and Lord Brahma started giving this knowledge to his sons, and the knowledge started, coming down, flowing from Lord Brahma. That time, it was only spoken by the spiritual master, and it was just heard and grasped and completely stored in the brain of the disciples. So they were so smart people. That's why it is called Shruti. So, this Shruti, that the Veda was one, at the same time it was very complex. It was very hard to grasp. So Vyas Dev, when Vyas Dev was born, and then when he had these revelations, so it is described in Srimad Bhagavatam that one day, after taking bath in the river Saraswati, he sat down for meditation, and he could see the deterioration of the different masses in the Kali Yuga. The people will be so dull. Kalau janishamananam dukkha shoka tamo nudam. These people of Kali Yuga, they are manda, right? They are very dull and slow. So because of which, Vyasadeva, when he had this vision, so he felt very compassionate, that he felt, how will these people from Kali Yuga will ever understand the very complex, intricate definitions and meaning of Vedas. So he divided the Vedas according to their purposes. So the Shruti mantras, they were divided into 4 Vedas, 108 Upanishads and Vedanta Sutra. So the 4 divisions that he compiled Veda into were RigVeda, which is most important, and from which Gayatri mantra comes, and from which Purusha Sukta, that also comes. These are very important verses, and RigVeda talks about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. YajurVeda, as the name itself says, that it is about different practices, different priestly processes for the performance of yajna, sacrifices. SaamVeda has chants and melodies, meters to be sung during the sacrifices. And AtharvaVeda, it has hymns and mantras, incantations outside the scope of the sacrifices. So this is how he created these divisions, so that the people would understand what this Vedic knowledge that is originally coming from Krishna, that Krishna imparted to Brahma mercifully. So 108 Upanishads are the books of philosophy explaining Vedanta, the conclusion of the Vedas. So there are basically 6 Vedangas, the limbs of Vedas. There are 6 different, he created these subdivisions. So Kalpa means the ritual detail. Shiksha is pronunciation guide. Vyakaran is grammar, about the Sanskrit. Because the Sanskrit is so complex from the Vedas. Just to take example, the Gayatri mantra itself is so complex. And those who are twice initiated, twice born Brahmanas here, they know the mantras that they chant, they are so complex. You have to sit properly, you have to follow the proper process, and then you have to chant the mantras in the mind and with proper pronunciation. So you have to pronounce in the mind, which is very difficult. Basically, Shruti is very complex. And that's why Vyas Dev is making it simpler for all of us. So there is the 4th subdivision, the limb of Vedas is Nirukti, which talks about etymology. Chanda talks about meters, and Jyotish talks about astronomy or astrology. Then he created UpaVedas. There are 4 UpaVedas. So they are like the supplement or supplementary Vedas. You must have heard about AyurVeda. So that is one of the 4 UpaVedas, which talks about medicine. There is GandharvaVeda, which is about music and dance. There is Dhanurveda, which talks about the warfare. And there is ShilpaVeda, which talks about architecture. So as I explained, there is the problem with the Shruti, all these mantras on these very complex Vedas is that they're very complex and the Sanskrit is very complex. They have to be chanted with perfect pronunciation, perfection in melody and perfection in the meter. Else it can give a different effect. Like you see in different pastimes, we see that they used this, people, all the Brahmanas, they used to sit together and they used to chant these mantras together in the perfect meter. If one person makes a mistake, then they have to start all over again. They have to clean everything. They have to start all over again. And sometimes, the different effect, the disastrous effect could be that if someone chants wrongly, then a demon may come out. Or something crazy would happen that no one knows. So that is the reason actually that it is said that this Shruti is basically only for Brahmanas and other people are not allowed to read or because they won't understand. At the same time, they are so complex and so many rules and regulations that only people who are Brahmanas, they can really follow these and they can understand. And that's why women and Shudras and Dvija Bandhus, the friends of Brahmanas, they are not allowed for learning Vedas. They are not given entrance in the Veda. That's the reason. Because it's not possible to follow all these rules for common people. That's why only Brahmanas are allowed entrance to read Vedas. So we see, but Vyas Dev, he is so compassionate to all of us that he decided to write Smriti, because Shruti is not allowed for everyone, only Brahmanas are allowed. So he wrote Smriti, he wrote Mahabharata, he wrote Ramayana and different 18 Puranas and various Smritis, so that everyone can understand. Now you see Mahabharata has Bhagavad Gita, but the Sanskrit of Bhagavad Gita is simple. Like it's easy to understand Krishna's verses, like what Krishna is speaking. For example, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. Like you can understand. Sharanam means surrender, and Mam means unto me. Ekam means only, come only to me. Ekam also means only one. So we understand these mantras because they are simplified. And if you see these Klim mantras, or those who are Brahmanas, they know these mantras, that Kama Gayatri and even Gayatri mantra, you have to be, like Om, that Om has to be a proper meter. Then Bhuhu, Bhuvaha, it's not that easy. So that is the mercy of Vyas Dev, that he compiled these all literatures for all of us, because only Brahmanas were allowed. But Prabhupada is mentioning very beautiful concept that this distinction was not based on someone's birth. That is very important. A person was not considered Brahman only because of he was born in the Brahman family. Many times people who were not Brahmanas, but they elevated themselves to the level of goodness that a Brahman should have, and they were really respected. And that's the ideal scenario, that Brahman or non-Brahman, it is not based on the birth of a person.